Good afternoon, I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday, August 21st. Drew Molley, Chief Operating Officer of Corpus Christi Water, has submitted his resignation from the city of Corpus Christi. Molley's resignation was announced to members of the city council yesterday evening, with his final day scheduled for September 3rd. The departure comes after city council recently voted to pause plans for its Inner Harbor seawater desalination project, a decision that has the council divided about how to secure alternative water sources for the region. Yesterday, Nueces County Commissioners Court adopted a 90-day burn ban for all unincorporated areas of the county. The order, effective immediately, prohibits outdoor burning, including beach bonfires, unless the county judge rescinds the restrictions before the 90 days pass. Household trash burning is allowed only if pickup service is not available. In that case, trash must be burned in an enclosed container with a spark and flame-arresting screen. Non-commercial cooking remains permitted. Outdoor welding and other hot work must follow fire code requirements. The ban does not apply to activities related to public health and safety that are authorized by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, including firefighter training, agricultural work, or prescribed burns conducted by a certified and insured burn manager. Violating the order is a Class C misdemeanor punishable by a fine of up to $500. Public outcry prevailed this past Tuesday in Kingsville during a South Texas Water Authority meeting over plans to dispose of desalination waste in Baffin Bay. The controversy began last month when fishing guides, environmental groups, and residents learned that the Water Authority had quietly signed a contract nearly a year ago with Seven Seas Water.
What you guys need to know, because they've made this decision, it's going to cost more because now they're going to deep well and direct it. So now it becomes a business deal.
That was Claiborne County Judge Rudy Madrid speaking at Tuesday's meeting, courtesy of KRAS News. The agreement allowed the company to discharge up to 1 million gallons of brine waste per day into Petronila Creek, which flows into Baffin Bay. After facing public backlash, the Water Authority Board voted to kill the plan. Seven Seas Water responded by proposing an alternative. Starbase officials say the city will need more than $5 million in the upcoming fiscal year. Yesterday, commissioners met to discuss the proposed $5.3 million budget. Starbase city leaders also voted to give the initial approval to the city's proposed tax rate of 0.55 cents per $100. It must be voted on again before it's officially adopted. Starbase is expected to rely heavily on property taxes for revenue, and over $4 million of the budget could be paid for in property tax revenue alone.
Most of the rest of the revenue is building permit fees, and these are projects that we're anticipating will start during the coming year. We're still in a startup mode with the city. We still have some unknowns out there that we're going to try to finalize.
That was Starbase City Administrator Kent Myers, courtesy of KRGV. The city won't get any revenue from property taxes until January, which means the city needs revenue to stay afloat between October 1st and the start of the new year. On that note, road closures have been announced by Cameron County for Starship's 10th flight from the Boca Chica launch site. Yesterday, Cameron County Judge Eddie Trevino Jr. ordered a temporary road closure for access to Boca Chica Beach, as well as State Highway 4 from FM 1419 to the entrance of the beach. Roads are scheduled to be closed between 11 a.m. and 10 p.m. Sunday, with alternative dates on Monday and Tuesday. SpaceX's website currently shows the target launch date as Sunday, with a launch window opening at 6:30 p.m. Machining and metal fabrication firm Superior GHQ Inc. has broken ground on a 15,000 square foot facility at the North Brownsville Industrial Park. The Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation said the facility, to be located at 7204 Industrial Circle, Lot 3, is Superior's newest operation. The company has plans for expansion at its North Brownsville site as demand grows for its products. GBIC said the firm, based out of the Midwest, plans to hire up to 20 employees during its first year of operation, and up to 12 more employees with Phase 2 expansion of the next 2 to 3 years. GBIC said the company is also evaluating opportunities to consolidate other facilities and expand further in Brownsville, setting up long-term growth. The project represents a Phase 1, $3 to $4 million investment in Brownsville's industrial sector. In state news, the Texas House has passed a bill proposing a new congressional map backed by President Trump that aims to help Republicans flip 5 Democratic districts in the 2026 midterms. The bill now heads to the state Senate, where lawmakers are expected to pass the measure. The Texas Newsroom's Blaze Gainey has the details.
After 8 hours of passionate and intense debate between Republicans and Democrats, the bill passed on an 88 to 52 vote. House Democrat Representative Ann Johnson called the map racist and the changes an effort to cheat Hispanic and Black Texans out of their right to elect a representative of their choice.
If you knew you could win this next election, you wouldn't be taking this effort to try to steal 5 seats from elected officials that members of color elected to represent them in Washington, D.C.
The measure now heads to the Senate. Members in that chamber will meet Thursday night at 7 to hear the bill. It's expected to pass and head to the governor, who signaled he would sign it. For the Texas Newsroom, I'm Blaze Gainey in Austin.
A federal judge in San Antonio has blocked the new Texas law that requires the 10 Commandments to be posted in every public school classroom. Texas Public Radio's Gabriela Acorta-Solorio reports.
U.S. District Court Judge Fred Beery held that Texas Senate Bill 10 more than likely violates both the Establishment and Free Exercise clauses of the First Amendment. Plaintiff Rabbi Mara Nathan argued children's religious beliefs should be instilled by parents and faith communities, not politicians and public schools. The bill was signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott in June and was supposed to go into effect on September 1st. The ruling only applies to districts listed in the lawsuit, including Alamo Heights, Northeast, Northside, and Lackland ISDs. The plaintiffs hope additional schools would adhere to the judge's ruling. I'm Gabriela Alcorta-Solorio in San Antonio.
And Governor Greg Abbott rang the New York Stock Exchange closing bell yesterday. As KERA's James Hartley reports, Abbott used the opportunity to boast about Texas's business-friendly policies.
The NYSE Texas opened at the end of March. On Wednesday, Abbott rang the exchange's closing bell from the 50-yard line at AT&T Stadium. The Texas governor said NYSE Texas and 2 other exchanges with plans to open headquarters in Dallas are signs of the state's economic strength.
Y'all Street is now expanding, and the roots are right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is the home of the economy. It's going to be the home of financial exchanges going forward. It's going to be Y'all Street instead of Wall Street.
Abbott partly credited the state's policies as one way Texas attracts business. I'm James Hartley in Arlington.
According to the 2020 U.S. Census, more than 60% of Corpus Christi's population is Hispanic. About half of that number speak a language other than English at home. Prior to the English-only push, the Housing and Urban Development Department provided resources in more than 200 languages aimed at helping people with limited English better access affordable government services. HUD followed the Justice Department guidance issued last year to all federal agencies on how to carry out Trump's executive order. Department officials say the policy is meant to unite the country under one language while continuing to support vulnerable Americans. While officials say the new policy could save taxpayer dollars, critics say it almost makes it harder for people to find resources they need. The Housing and Urban Development Department will continue to maintain services for those with hearing or vision impairment. The Port of Corpus Christi recently awarded Solomon Coles High School with a $100,000 grant. The funding will bring advanced technology to the school, including a computer lab for geographic data analysis, plus drones and cybersecurity, along with a second new lab to support adult learners earning their high school diplomas. Port Director of Community Relations Rosada Bailey told KIII News that staff created the Corpus Christi education grants to make an impact on local K-12 schools.
We're looking at technology that was way above and beyond what a traditional high school would be able to offer to someone.
This year, the port reviewed over 70 applicants and chose Solomon Coles as one of 2 winners. Solomon Coles High School is also working on partnering with Del Mar College and Texas A&M Corpus Christi to bridge students' path from high school to college. Last week, the Texas Education Agency released their district accountability ratings for the 2024-25 school year. Rivera ISD scored big on the state's latest report, raising their overall grade from C to B. The elementary school earned a B, the middle school also scored a B, and the high school maintained an A rating from last year. Superintendent Tara Dobson told KIII News the jump is credited to the students, along with new strategies, including more after-school tutorials and a special Seahawk Success intervention period during the day. The school district has now set their sights on having all 3 campuses score A ratings. Midcoast Family Services in Victoria received a $5,500 donation from Datar Healthcare System, allowing these services to continue offering essential meals to the community. Midcoast Family Services recently encountered a major challenge when FEMA eliminated its food budget. The nonprofit provides 3 meals a day to more than 45 individuals. Prior to receiving assistance, the service was concerned about potentially having to reduce those meals. The organization also combats family violence and substance abuse while also addressing hunger in the community. The help from Datar Healthcare System enables the services to focus on this mission amid financial challenges. A Victoria quilt shop is collecting quilts and quilt supplies to support flood relief efforts in the Texas Hill Country. Connie Court, owner of My Fabric Friends, told 25 News Now that Hugs from Texas is assisting communities affected by the July 4th flooding along the Guadalupe River. Courts began requesting quilt tops the day after flooding hit. As of August 20th, she has received more than 7,000 quilt tops, and quilt supplies have arrived from around the world, including Guam and Canada. She plans to deliver about 150 quilts next month to the San Saba area and will make additional deliveries to smaller towns such as Ingram and Comfort. And in sports, the Frisco Rough Riders employed 14 base hits to down the Corpus Christi Hooks 10-5 last night at Whataburger Field. Pascal Ferreras led the charge for the Hooks by going 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Since mid-July, he is batting .309 over a 29-game span. Luis Baez and Tommy Sacco Jr. belted solo home runs to left in the 7th and 9th innings respectively. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the way.